All right, guys, what's going on? Thank you guys for joining us for this podcast today. I got two special guests with me. I've got my dad, Darrell Broadway, and I've also got Jim Ripple. Both of these guys have some really diverse and really deep roots in the financial industry. I want to take a second to introduce them. So, Dad, kind of tell us a little bit more about how you got into the industry. You actually helped introduce me to the industry as well, and how long have you been doing it and what you specialize in?
Well, right now I specialize in IULs, financial services, biggest thing is just serving the people, figure out what we can do to help them. And been in it since 2018, trying to get a little bit of knowledge in this business every year, and just still growing as much as we can. And one of these days I'll be as smart as Jim is.
I think we all want to be as smart as Jim is. So, Jim, you've been in the industry for a long time, and you're going to kind of talk to us about a
You
plan.
keep calling me old, don't you?
You're not old. You're experienced. That's
Oh,
what.
okay.
Yeah, experienced. But no, you're going to introduce us to a plan that I had not heard of until I just got connected with you, and I think we've been working together for about a year now, give or take a little bit. And what you just heard about this plan as well, not too long ago? Is that right?
Well, actually, I heard about it several years ago and really didn't. Hey, the person who introduced me to it really didn't give me a good explanation of how it worked and what the power that gave the employer to be able to increase their employees' net pay and also save about over $500 per year per employee. So that's money in their pocket. So once I understood how that worked, I said, well, I was kind of silly not to look at it before. But so far, they've got over 1.5 million people or employees on this plan, and it really is helping them. It not only is saving them money and putting more money in, saving employers money and putting more money into the employee's paycheck to take home, but it's also giving them a number of very valuable health benefits. So it's a combination of a couple different things.
Okay, so I want to get into that, but I'm sure they want to hear like where you've come from as well. So kind of talk a little bit about your background, and then we'll go right into a deeper dive of the program itself.
Well, I got into business in the 80s, but I really started I started trading options when I was 14 years old. So I was an equities guy most of my life, and I was also in the insurance business as well. But when I learned how I can protect people's money and grow it at the same time, using a tax shelter and indexing versus actually risking their money in the market. I kind of gave up my securities license after 20 years. So
For sure. So you've kind of seen like this new avenue as what, a safer thing or a better as opposed to securities license. What's that look like?
you can well, if structured correctly, you can actually grow your money, in a tax deferred investment, and take your money out completely tax free, but you're indexing it to markets as opposed to putting your money in the market. So in other words, if you're indexed and you have a 2008 drop, you don't lose any money. Your money stays where it was. It didn't grow any, but you don't have to go back 50% and gain that back over the next 5 years to get back to square one. So in 2009, when the market started going up again, my money was growing, and so were my clients.
Wow. Wow. So you've got the track record, right? You've got the reputation for seeing everything grow. Like there was a book I read that reminded me of you whenever I first got into business with you, and it was where's all the clients' boats, or where's all the customers' yachts, something like that. You know what I'm talking about? And you're one of the ones that that I've gathered that's actually been able to like help clients achieve what they want to achieve, right? Not just set them up for a pipe dream and then kind of hope for the best, right?
Yeah, and you want to you got to have a long-term strategy, and grow it without risking people's money. Because my clients sleep at night; they don't worry about when the market's down 1,000 points, or it's a Black Monday, or it's a 2008 market crash, or the next market crash, or people that actually in the last couple of years, people lost 30-40%, depending on what they were in, because the markets have been very tumultuous. So that's not the best place to be in, having your, especially after you get over age 50, when clients are getting closer and closer to retirement, and in retirement, they can't afford those losses, or they go back being a Walmart greeter someday.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. That kind of hit me the other day too. I actually saw a Walmart greeter, bless her heart. She had to be like in her 70s or so. And she told me she was working because she had to, like she had lost everything. So,
Yeah.
But that's kind of the mission that you've been taking on. That's that burden you've been taking on, preventing people from getting to that point, making sure that they have their money, they keep their money, they can still retire and do what they want to do. Right.
Yeah. And they don't run out of money.
Yeah.
If you structure correctly, they'll have more money as the years go on.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to figure out how to maintain it and not. And the problem most people have is they want it to keep on growing because they want to be able to, have it last their lifetime. But if they put it in the market, they can lose 50%, and then what do they do? So if they don't put it in the bank, you got 6 to 8% inflation, you're losing money there too. So there's a risk in any investment you do. It just, you got to pick and choose what is appropriate for the person.
Wow. That's awesome, man. That's huge. So I kind of want me and Dad to kind of like ask you like questions, pick your brain about this thing, because that teaser that you gave us about the program is already kind of like it's got my wheels turning a little bit. So talk to me a little bit more about how this thing will work. This is targeted for business owners, right?
Correct. Yes.
Well, business owners and employees too, I guess, right?
It's actually an employee benefit.
Okay.
That is paid for by tax savings. Okay, so the health there's health benefits encompassed in it. So there's it's $0 copays for urgent care for your primary care doctors. You've got 0 copays for telehealth visits to a doctor for the the acute episodic things like colds, flus, headaches, pink eye, that kind of stuff. So you don't have to go to the doctor. It's all free. But on top of that, there's also a mental health portion of that. So it's for people that are depressed or anxiety or substance abuse or whatever. They can, without a stigma, they can literally do a virtual call with a cam or the computer or just over the phone and talk to somebody. So there's a lot of people struggling for a number of reasons out there, and the help is there, and this provides them those benefits. But the neat thing is that every time a employer provides a benefit, it costs them some money. Well, they figured out a way that this doesn't. So what happens is that the employer is saving $573.60 per year per employee. So if you had 200 employees, you would now have an extra $114,720 that you would not have had to spend. So that's more money in your pocketbook in your corporation.
But they're net.
That's
Jim?
net. That's net to the employer, just for 200 employees. But let's talk about the employees themselves. They would have an extra combined $300,000 of net pay that they wouldn't have had, and the employer can give it to them without spending a dime. In fact, he makes money too. So it's kind of a real win-win situation. The payroll tax savings is what the employer is getting. And out of that is paying for these benefits that are coming out of it. But that's his net, that 573. That's after paying for it. And the employee ends up having 125 on average per month, or $1,500 per year extra in their paycheck. So an employer can give somebody a pay raise without having to pay for it. How's that for a deal?
Wow.
Now, Jim, let me ask you this. I was reading up on some of this information, but what is this 125 cafeteria plan? How do you explain that?
Okay, what typically a Section 125 cafeteria plan? is the normal way it's set up is that an employee can take a portion of their money, usually up to about $2,000, and put it into basically a health savings account. They can purchase, sometimes they can purchase benefits like life insurance or, dental insurance or those kinds of things, or they can spend that money for, dental work, eye care, prescriptions, going to the doctor. So they pay those with pre-tax dollars. But the difference between this and that is we're not taking any money out of their pocket. Okay. We're actually taking money out of their paycheck, but paying them back an insurance claim check that's going net back into their paycheck, which is giving, instead of having this money to spend outside of whatever, they're getting it right back in their paycheck.
You're talking about their part of their FICA tax, right?
Well, no, part of it's FICA, but they're also, because it's all pre-tax dollars, you're not paying federal, state, local, FICA, or Medicare tax on that money.
Okay, so this thing is paid in, like the employees essentially pay into this program, kind of like the
it comes out of their paycheck, but goes right back into their paycheck after the tax savings.
Wow. And all that happens automatically?
Automatic. So it's not like they're short. They're actually, typically they're netting an extra $125 per month in net income, plus getting these other benefits.
And that essentially that comes from like lowering the employees' like tax footprint or blueprint, right?
Correct. So in other words, if they're federal, state, local, and FICA taxes are all reduced, then they end up having but the money goes right back into their paycheck. So they're actually getting that net. They're getting it they're basically getting the money back pre-tax.
So this saves on the employees. It actually gives the employee a raise and gives the employer savings on their net income per year.
Well, yeah, it's savings. It actually puts more money in the corporation. $573.60 per employee.
Wow.
And do you know how many businesses right now are going out of business because they can't afford some of the taxes that's going on?
Oh yeah, that's why we want to show them, not only because it's also hard to retain good employees. Okay, if you can give them more health benefits, more net pay, and it didn't cost you anything, in fact, you even make money, what a deal.
Yeah, so that was going to be my next point. Like one of the main reasons why employees end up leaving, besides, like conflict with boss or pay or whatever, is because their benefits aren't good. Like one of the main reasons why somebody will stay at a job is the same reason, like their benefits, So let's kind of talk a little bit more if we can, because I'm curious about this. You hinted on this earlier about what the main benefits for the employees are, right? And then if we can we transition into like business savings and stuff after that? So as far as like employees go, you said they get what? Unlimited doctor's visits, unlimited like teledoc visits, or what?
Well, yes, they do, but there's no copay. So in other words, let's say their health plan has a $50 copay or for an urgent care or whatever, through this plan, it's reduced to zero. Okay.
So this doesn't replace their health plan.
No, it does not. It does not. It adds another benefit to them.
Got
it. It's an extra benefit. It's an add-on. Doesn't matter if they don't have health insurance or they do have health insurance. It really doesn't matter. So the employee themselves get unlimited doctor and urgent care visits at zero copay. They also get like 700 prescriptions at $0 to $1. They also get oh no, I'm sorry. They get the primary and office visits for $0. They also get oh God, I can't think of what it is now.
It's a lot, dude. It's a lot.
I should have pulled it up, right? But hang on, let me
No, while you're finding that, so the employee, they get unlimited doctor's visits, right? Does this work for like their families as well too, or is it just them? Or
that's what I wanted to actually go into here. So okay, so they have zero copay for any preventative care. Okay, for the employee only. Zero copay for primary care doctors and urgent care for the employee only. $0 to $1 copays for unlimited prescriptions. That's the family. It's 700 prescriptions they can get from between a $0 and $1.
It'll cover family prescriptions.
Pardon me?
It'll cover family prescriptions.
Correct. So it includes
Wow.
the family. Then the telehealth for a primary care visit via video or phone includes their family as well. So that's 0 copay. They also get the 0 copay for mental health and personal health consultations. So that includes the family as well. So they're getting all of that. At absolutely no, that's just the benefits of the plan.
So like a stay-at-home mom or not stay-at-home mom, sorry, a single mom that's, the sole provider for their family, whatever, has a sick child or whatever, they don't have to go all the way out to the doctor. They do this telehealth program that's provided with them.
Yeah.
Then, if that prescription's actually covered under the 700 that you said were already on that list, then they could essentially get that care for their kid, like right there inside their house. And
right.
then
And the nice thing is a lot of health plans have telehealth, but you're paying between $50 and $75 per visit. This is 0. So these are for the single, things like colds, flus, backache, coughs, diarrhea, dizziness, pink eye, poison oak, all the little things that you run to the doctor for can be handled this way. And if appropriate, they'll phone in a prescription directly to your pharmacy and you can go pick it up. And if it's one of those prescriptions that's covered, then it's no copay for that either. But the nice thing about the mental and behavioral health, that also covers like ADHD counseling for kids, addictions, anger management, anxiety, grief, loss, life changes, nutrition counseling, stress, substance abuse, and many other eating disorders, divorce, depression. I mean, just hundreds of different things you can call and talk to somebody, which gives people a way out, because a lot of times people are afraid to seek help. This is a way they can do it from their house, and it's completely private, and you don't have to go to a counselor or pay a bunch of money. It's all for free.
Wow. That's huge. So in addition to their current health plan, regardless if it covers that or not, this is just that extra little umbrella of coverage for them in the event they need something else, right?
Correct.
That's huge.
And there's one other really interesting benefit that goes along with this program, and it's actually a FDA registered scanning technology. So via your phone in an app or your computer webcam, it can actually predict, and with a predictive model, be able to see problems that you may not know. It looks for cardiovascular risk, body mass index, blood pressure, heart attack risk, stroke risk, all kinds of different things it scans for. So what it does is it gives you a way to stay healthy instead of waiting until you have a problem. So if you do this once a year, you can be ahead of the game, being proactive on your health rather than waiting and going to the doctor or in a hospital or whatever. You solve these problems early on, which again, for the employer is great because it's less utilization on their health plan. That's one thing we haven't talked about. The employer not only gets the 573.60, but all these health benefits, especially this proactive part of this, keeps their employees healthy and saves utilization on their health plan. If they're self-funded, that's more money back in their pocket.
You mean, Jim, if this scanner is going to scan my face and tell me if I'm sick or not?
Yep.
Now,
It'll literally point out whether you've got blood pressure issues, you've got diabetes issues, all kinds of things. It's pretty darn amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
So I think you actually showed me a screenshot of this stuff. Like it's got like green, like yellow, orange, red, or what. It kind of lets you know where you are as far
it's
as
all color coded. And what the purpose of this is to get all the employees towards the green. Okay. So that they're proactively taking care of their health, right? Rather than waiting till something arises and then going to the doctor, or what worse, going to the hospital or something else. So if you do this, it'll find problems, let you deal with it, and literally you can do a telehealth visit to start with. Hey, listen, I did my scanner. This is what came up, and share that with the doctor, and maybe they can help you, or they can say, no, this is out of our purview here, but you need to go see your doctor or a cardiologist or whatever. So if you do this proactively, you're gonna be healthier. And for the employer, it's going to save on their health plan because it's not going to have the utilization, because their employees are going to be healthier. And that's one of the amazing things about telehealth, is a lot of people will, get the flu or get sick or whatever, and they don't go to the doctor because they don't want to take the time. They don't want to take the time off work, and then they end up getting other people at work sick and everything else. Well, if you have telehealth, there's no big deal. You can do it at home. The doctor says stay home. You stay home. You get it'll actually write you an excuse for your work too. So in other words, some employers require that you go to a doctor or something else. Well, this counts as a doctor visit. The doctor says stay home for a couple of days. You stay home, and the employer is going to have a note.
Wow. So this is going to lead to like healthier employees, which you could argue happier, more productive employees. They have better benefits overall, which could lead to employee retention for the employers, right?
Right. It's
Okay.
a win-win-win. There's very few things in the world that are win-win-win that doesn't cost somebody something. In this case, it just costs Uncle Sam something.
So I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying this, but we don't necessarily mind that too much, though. If
Oh, no. That's you asked me what I do. And I work to have my clients, because I work with a lot of high net worth clients, is to reduce their taxes and put their money from tax deferred to never tax.
Yeah, that's huge, man. So
How long has it been around?
Yep.
So
Ask your
Jim,
question, Dad.
How long has this been around, Jim?
What this has been, well, I've known about it for about 2 years. So it's relatively new. Because like I said, typically a cafeteria plan, all it is a health savings account where you can go purchase products or use it to spend on whatever, and it actually comes out of your paycheck. In this scenario, it's coming out, saving the taxes, going right back into your paycheck or actually pre-tax. So you're getting that money. That's why you're increasing your net pay, is because you're not paying taxes on that money that's coming out and going right back in.
Now, you said there was some major corporation. You already told us that there was millions of people already on this plan. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right.
It's already been tested out. It's not like a new thing, right?
No, companies, Harley Davidson, parts of Google, Tesla, Burger King, Papa John's, Piggly Wiggly grocery stores, Little Caesars.
You guys just signed QT too, didn't you? The gas station?
QuickTime gas stations.
Wow.
So there's a lot of corporations on this. It's not new. And the nice thing is it's not a burden for the employer either. Once it's set up, we work directly with your payroll company like ADP or, Locked In. There's a whole, Paylocity and ADP and all the payroll vault and all these other ones. So it integrates directly into your payroll system. So once set up, it's just on autopilot. You don't have to do anything. It's just savings to you and more income for the employees, and plus an extra health benefit that you don't even have to have any money coming out of your pocket to pay for.
I think that was kind of my next question too. Like, how difficult is it for the employers to set something like that up? Like, is it?
It's very, very simple. Typically, it's a couple of visits with the HR department or the payroll person, and basically, they've been integrating with all these other payroll systems, so it's pretty simple. It's not like it's tried and true. It works.
Wow. So, brief recap on employee side. They get better, we'll just call it health benefits, right?
Yep.
Better health, a better umbrella of health coverage, I guess you'd call it, like up to 700 some odd prescriptions, pretty much covered, no copays. Doctor's visits, no copays for the employees, teledoc for the families, and all that good stuff. So they get all that. And on average, roughly $150 a month extra into their paycheck for doing this.
Well,
plan.
it's anywhere from $30 to $300, but the average has been about $125 per person per month.
And that just depends on the tax bracket that they're in.
Correct. Yeah. So in other words, if you're making $15,000 a year, your tax bracket is very low. Okay, but if you're making 70 or 80 or $100,000 a year, your tax bracket is going to be higher. So it comes down to how much we can reduce your taxes, and that's going to be your savings. But the average is about $125 per month per paycheck or per employee. So that's a pretty neat deal for an employer to say, hey, listen, I'm going to increase your net pay, give you benefits, and oh, by the way, I get to keep more money too.
Yeah. So that's a perfect transition point, right? So let's talk about the employer now, right? So we covered the employee. What's this going to do for the employer? I know you mentioned what 500 something. What's that figure that they're going to end up saving every month or every year?
The employer will get $573.60 a year per employee net to their bottom line.
Mm. And that's in what tax savings because they're not paying
that's in Social Security and Medicare tax savings.
Wow.
So
that's after paying for the plan. There is a cost to the plan, but that's the net after paying for the plan.
Okay.
So if we've got hypothetically $1,000 employees, and you're saying that that's going to save them
$573,600
every year.
Just
every year.
Net. Wow.
That's unbelievable. Again, how break that down? How does that work for the employer side? Because I know they're going to be asking questions on that too.
Sure. How it works on the employer side is where did my thing go?
Because they're getting better, and I'm not trying to reiterate on that. I'm just that just blows my mind. They get better benefits for their employees. Right. They're saving money every year. I mean, I don't understand why more people haven't done this, or why I haven't heard of it before.
You haven't told them about it yet.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Sorry, guys. My bad.
Well, that's what we're trying to correct here today. We're trying to correct it so that you can tell everyone and get people on this. So how it works is that there's $1,200 coming out of the employee's paycheck in a month, and $1,010 going back in after tax or without any taxes taken out of it. So the employer is saving $91.80 per month at the 7.65% FICA payrolls. Okay. The cost of the plan is $44, and the pay period savings per month is $47.80. You take $47.80 times 12, we're looking at $573.60.
Wow, that's huge. Okay, I mean, it just sounds so simple whenever you do it that way. But you said that it comes out of what, 1,200 something comes out of the employee's paycheck?
Technically what's happening is $1,200. Let's say somebody's making $5,000 a month.
Got it.
$1,200 is going to come out of the person's paycheck. And then, so that's going to reduce their federal, state, Medicare, local, Social Security taxes. Okay. And then $1,010 is going back into their paycheck at the same time as an insurance claim payment. So their net amount after less taxes and that $1,000 going back in, they're ending up with $125 on average extra in their paycheck to spend.
That was my next question, because it seemed kind of backwards to me. 1,200 is going out, 1,000 is going back in, or 1,010, whatever you said, was going back in. How do they come up with that net profit?
Because the taxes went down.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Your federal tax dropped. Your state tax dropped, your Social Security tax dropped, and your Medicare tax dropped.
Wow. Okay. So just because of that, that's how the employees end up getting that extra pay boost every month.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. So, do the employees have to do anything to make sure they get that? Because I mean, that's That would kind of scare me if I was a boss, having them like have like $1,200 come out of the account and then just got to hope and pray 1,000 goes back in, or is it just pretty automatic? Or
It's absolutely automatic. Now, remember this, the purpose of this plan, the purpose of this program is to make their employees more healthy, right? We talked about the predictive model, right?
right?
Well, they have to once a month watch a video, complete a quiz, complete a wellness module, risk assessment, coaching with a doctor, biometric screening that we talked about, visit with a telemed provider or mental health provider. So in other words, all they have to do is do one, maybe 5 or 10 minute exercise, basically, or maybe they get sick and call the doctor. That counts as one as well. That allows them to have that money go back into as an insurance claim payment into their paycheck, and that's how they save the money.
Wow. And it just like seamless. It just goes, there's never any hiccups or anything like that.
Never hiccup. And the employer doesn't have to monitor this. The company that does this is going to be in touch with the employees on a regular basis by email and text, and reminding them, hey, listen, you haven't done this month. If you want that extra money in your paycheck, you have to do this. And so they keep on them, and they have not had any problem with compliance.
Okay.
It's not a big burden they have to do. It's real simple.
Okay. So they have to like do something to get that insurance claim, right? Or
Correct.
Okay. So what do they have to do? What's that look like for them? I know you mentioned the scan, right?
Well,
Scan.
they can watch a video on nutrition. They can complete a quiz on healthy living, or complete a wellness module, or like I said, call a telehealth provider because they're concerned about the economy, and then they're anxious and they just like to talk to somebody. All those things count as a medical claim.
Wow. So,
But what if they don't do that, Jim? What happens?
If they don't, then they're not going to get extra money in their paycheck. So they're very compliant, because once they start getting extra $125, they're very upset if they don't get it. So compliance is not really a problem.
okay, cool. So like, how long do any of these tasks take for any one of the employees to do?
Watch a video for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Answer. It's all going to be different. But it typically 5 to 15 minutes, maybe.
Wow.
It's nothing burdensome.
Wow. Okay. So it's not, and you said you've never, like, all the employees that you've worked with on this plan before, they've not had a problem with compliance at
They've
all.
not had a problem with compliance whatsoever.
Okay.
And again, it's not the employer's problem. The plan itself is the one in touch with them, and make sure that they understand, if you want to have the extra money in your paycheck, you've got to do something for it.
Is there any type of like grace period for the employees at all?
Yeah, they work out those. They work out those. They make sure that it's not a problem.
Okay. So if they like happen to miss it by a couple of days or something, they're not going to like immediately pull all that out of it.
Typically, we've got some build into it. Like the biometric scanner will give you a couple credits and those kinds of things. So you've always got to, we stress that they do one a month. By that time, they're going to have more than 12 credits, so it won't be a problem.
Okay. Perfect. That's awesome. Dude, so this is huge. Like, better benefits for employees. The employers themselves end up getting more net money in their account. They're saving money on taxes, and everybody seems to be, getting healthier, getting better, right? So like, I'm missing something, dude. I'm gonna ask the question that's kind of like that. I want to try to poke a hole in it. Like, what's the downside for it?
Okay. The downside would be if you don't get the word out and tell every employer in the nation.
For real though, like, what it is?
There is really no downside to it. It's not a cost to the employer. It's a net benefit in money to the employee, and a net health benefit for the employees and their family.
Now, you mentioned that earlier. You said it costs something, like for the employer, it costs them something, but they're still netting the 500 and something.
Correct. So in other words, they're getting more than $573.60 in savings. That's their net.
Got it.
The plan is being paid for. It's not a free lunch, but it's being paid for. And after it's paid for, the employer still getting $573.60 per employee per year.
Gotcha.
You don't really think of it a cost when you're netting a positive.
Sure. I mean, if they're making money on it, I guess it doesn't necessarily matter, right?
No.
Especially 500 and something dollars per employee. That's huge. And they're getting better benefits.
Yeah. And so they can tout more net pay, better benefits, and oh, by the way, I get to keep more money.
Wow.
What a deal.
That's huge. Okay. So whenever somebody wants to get set up with this program, like they just need to reach out to us, click the link in the bio, do whatever they need to do. And then
yep. All we need to do to put together an exact number, because we need to know, I mean, we're using averages here on their net pay. Okay. We already know the benefits are going to be the same. We know what the amount is going to the employer is going to be the same. Yep. The variable is going to be the employees based on what their pay is. Okay. So we need a census that's going to have all their information on it. And then the plan will calculate precisely how much it is per each employee broken out, how much they're saving and how much net pay they're going to end up with. And the census plus another form, just the information about the business itself. And then we set up a meeting with their HR department, get it in place, and move forward. That's as easy as it is.
Is it a heavy burden to the HR department?
No, no, it really isn't. They got to do this. They got to do the census, and then the plan works with their payroll and the HR person to put this in place. It's very simple. It's plug and play because they've done it so many times. It's really not difficult. It takes a little bit of time, like anything does, but it's not burdensome because any corporation can download this information in a spreadsheet pretty easy into Excel. It's not a big deal. If they aren't computerized, yeah, it's going to be a little more work, but I don't know any company that's not computerized payroll anymore.
Yeah.
So we've talked about, how it works, but we're going to show them on a Zoom call and literally go through the slides and show them how it actually works and what the benefits are and all the good stuff, and walks through them. What are the next steps? We go into all of that. At that point, then if they want to move forward from there, then they need the census and that other form. And from there, we submit it and then schedule a time with their HR to implement. That's as easy as it is.
All right, guys. So, I really can't think of, any reason why any business owner wouldn't do this, or at least try to get this set up for their employees or anything like that. I'm kind of blown away by this thing. Like any other questions, closing remarks, or anything like that? Because this is awesome. I don't see why.
Some people say, well, it sounds too good to be true. Trust me, it is not. It is real. It is valid. It works. And there's a million and a half employees benefiting from all the benefits that are inside the program, plus their net pay. And those employers, are getting extra money, and every business is hurting right now, or a lot of businesses are hurting. Why not offer a benefit to your employees that you don't have to pay for and you actually make money from? What a deal.
And it's all from government type cuts if they've got something like this in place.
We're just reducing the tax burden on the employee and the employer.
That's huge.
Jim, me personally, I want to thank you for this information. This is huge. And for all, I believe Daniel and I can say that to all business owners, CEOs, presidents, ever who you may be, you need to contact us and let us know. Daniel, what do you think? How's the best way for them to contact us?
Yep. So I think the best way is just super simple. There's a link in the description that we're going to have on the video. There's a link in the bio, or depending on what social media platform this is, you can just send us a direct message. We'll get you in contact with Jim, get you in contact with the company, show you how this stuff works, and then show you how you can start providing the information for your employees. Or if you're an employee and you want an additional 125 up to $300 a month and you want, your copays taken care of for, the doctor's visits, you want a lot of your prescriptions taken care of, you want that telehealth for mental health, as well as like taking care of your kids and everything like that and your family members, let us know. Reach out to us, reach out to your HR department, reach out to your
they really need to reach out to their company and talk about it so that the company can contact us. The employees really can't sign up, but they can be a lobbying effort to the employer. Say, hey, listen, you guys need to take a look at this plan.
There you go. So there's your marching orders, guys. Go get it. Reach out to your HR department, reach out to your CFO, whoever's working with you, and let's see if we can get something rolling for you guys.
Jim, we do appreciate it, my friend. And for everyone that's out there, like Daniel said, you can contact us by the link below, and we'll be happy to help you out, get you in touch with Jim. We'll set up a Zoom call, and we'll get your company set up with this and save you hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars, depending on the size of your company. And plus, on top of that, Daniel, he said that all employees is going to get a raise from this.
Yep.
And so I don't know about you, but I like every dollar I can get in my pocket right now.
Right now, yeah, absolutely. So, guys, thank you so much. Jim, thank you for your time. And we look forward to hearing from you guys soon.
Take care.
Bye-bye.